are listening to the Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You are listening to the Chartographers! That's that music-loving podcast for music-loving people. Some pussy just ran out of the room, so sorry about that. And I'm very un-Prince of me. But let me just tell you something, guys. You're listening to the Chartographers. We just ranked Prince in the 80s. I fucking can't believe we did it. It was hard. It was rough. Emotions came into play. It was one of the... Well, okay, so we had a brief discussion before we recorded the Happy Hour Minisode, and the people having the discussion is me, Evan Sadi, Taran O'Reilly, and Jon Harvey, our most frequent guest on the podcast. He is the Morris Day of the podcast. And the other thing...
Yeah, dude, you like... there's like a great array of musicians in the Prince repertoire, and you're really kind of like... You're picking some pretty overripe fruit there, man.
Sorry, Jerome. I'll stop doing that.
Couldn't even go with Andre.
Simon. Okay. Oh, but you know my connection to Andre.
Couldn't be Dr. Fink.
Okay. You know my connection to Andre Simon, right?
You're a great Dr. Fink.
Thank you.
You're my Dr. Fink.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know my connection to Andre Simon?
Your liner notes.
Yes. So the very first gig I got writing liner notes, someone chatted me that was, at Casablanca Hotshot Records, and just like, hey, you really like Prince, right? And I'm like, yeah, I really like Prince. It's something that happens. And I'm like, well, would you like to write the liner notes for his childhood bassist friend? I'm like, that sounds fucking amazing. And so Andre Simon, he was Prince's childhood friend and bassist, and then decided to do a solo career, put out 2 pretty middling solo albums, and then a third one called AC, which had a song called The Dance Electric, which was written by Prince. And it's this dark, like, perfect Purple Rain era groove. It is this solid-ass song. And basically, it was kind of a minor hit. It was a very minor hit. It was written by Prince. How could it not be? But then, like, the guy, Andre Simon, he didn't want to actually speak with me for the actual thing. That album came out in the UK, that re-release. It got some pretty decent reviews. A couple people praising my liner notes, which was very humbling and very great. And then suddenly the other 2 previous albums are like, hey, we want to do those too. And Andre Simon's like, oh, gladly talk about these. I didn't do those because I didn't have the time at the time. But still, it was really nice. And then several years later, we premiered a song of his over at Pop Matters, and he wrote a very nice post praising me for being a very nice writer. It was very good. That was my connection to Prince. And here's the other thing. Okay, listen, we're getting into the Happy Hour Minisode in a second, I swear to God. But I saw Prince live. I want to say in 2013, 2012, I want to say. Just a one-off. He did 3 nights at the United Center in Chicago, just for no god. And I'm like, oh, Prince is in town. That'd be kind of cool. But then the third night, we had a Janelle Monáe as the opener. I'm like, well, fuck, I have to go to this. And so I did, and it was just this, he was on the giant, stage that was shaped in the Prince symbol, the love symbol. And it felt really weird because, like, I heard there were technical difficulties the first couple nights. Like, he has a band, he has a crew, but I guess the Prince set list or whatever the fuck he does just, like, varies night per night because he just goes on it and people just have to follow. There was a whole separate section that had these singers there. But here's the thing that happened that was crazy. He brought up Janelle Monáe to sing Take Me With You, and she, as great as performer as she is, it was pretty clear he asked her really soon before they went on stage, like, do you want to sing Take Me With You with me? She's like, yes, absolutely. And so she's on stage, like, her eyes are kind of darting around, like, to make sure she's doing it all right. Like, she still did pretty good, but it was just very, like, clearly he asked her before on stage. But then, I mean, he did a question, he did a Joy and Repetition, which I was like, that's actually a surprisingly deep cut, really, to do in front of, like, a big hits-driven show. But goddamn, second to last song of the night, he did The Dance Electric by Andre Simon. And I'm like, no one in the audience knows what this song is, but I just had this really personal connection to him in that moment. I flipped the fuck out. It was a moment. That's all I have to say. That's my brief, very small connection to Prince. It's a small thing.
And Prince noticed and was like, yeah, this song was for you, you weird little nerdy dude over there.
But guys, listen, we're in the Happy Hour Minisode. We ranked it out. I really highly recommend you listen to the parts 1 and 2. It's incredible. But, guys, we need to do the first thing we do at the start of every Happy Hour Minisode. Guys, what is the worst Prince song?
Anti-Christian.
In the 80s?
Antichrist.
I gotta be honest, Anti-Christian is right there for me. It is square in the hole.
I'm gonna go with Glam Slam. I really hate Glam Slam.
Slam. Thank you, ma'am.
That's
Please
a good choice.
enjoy your day.
Coffee. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Please, I swear, like, that's like the intro to, like, an 80s Folgers commercial.
I feel like we listed all of these before because I'm also like, remember America? Oh man.
I Wonder You. Yeah, I Wonder You.
I Wonder You isn't good. I don't know. It's not as bad as
Life Can Be So Nice. If I could. That little Parisian walk, little fucking thing. I know it doesn't take place in Paris, but still.
Also, favorite Prince story.
Oh,
Like, doesn't...
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude! Like, don't ask me that question. That's a terrible question to ask. I hate you for asking that question.
Start spouting them off.
Like, there's an amazing one when people are sharing ones after his passing. Talib Kweli shared that he went to a club one evening with Prince and some other dudes and like this in his posse, and like when they got to the club, like Prince was talking to the owners, they ended up kicking out all the men that weren't in his crew, and it was just Prince's crew and all the ladies, and Prince read scripture to them all evening.
No.
Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Story from Chappelle's Show is up there. In 2015, I want to say. 2014, I think.
Yeah.
That was when the Third Eye Girl project came out. And yet another girl-fronted band that he did. And he performed on Fallon, and he went to the guitarist of the Roots, and the guitarist is just like, "Hey man, Prince, I'm so glad you're here. Would you mind signing my guitar?" "No, I'd like to borrow it for the show though." "Oh, okay, man, cool, sure, whatever." So he borrows the guitar. He does the first song, some Third Eye Girl song, which is pretty good, and actually pretty alright. Goes ahead, performs it. Then does another song. He performs, and this is late age, pure afro, crazy glasses. He performs Bambi. He performs Bambi live on Fallon, and he just brings it and is blazing, and there's stops, and it's just great. And at the end of the song, takes the guitar off, tosses it in the air, and walks off stage, and it smashes, and the neck shatters, and doesn't pay for it.
And then it's just like droning guitar feedback like through the outro, while Fallon is trying to be like, "That was Prince," and it's just like.
Then coincidentally, the only reason why he had that guitar, it was gifted to him. I believe it was gifted to Captain Kirk by former Prince protege Jesse Johnson, who also is famous for dazzling, currently a touring member for D'Angelo and the Vanguard.
That's really awesome.
And so he had that guitar, which he was going to use for a Prince tribute show 2 nights later.
That's amazing. There's so many stories. Let's talk about Tevin Campbell, the young boy from Graffiti Bridge.
So
round
random.
and round. Okay, but here's the thing. Tevin Campbell, apparently he was the part of the bidding war initially. Like, for some reason, people viewed him as a talent. I don't know why. I don't think he's talented. Round and Round was
has
a voice.
A voice.
Yeah, he has a voice. And he wound up...
it's a perfectly pleasant pop voice.
Yeah, Round and Round was kind of a hit, and then he had other, like, minor R&B hits. But
The Goofy Movie!
He sung Eye to Eye. I got myself a notion. Like, he went ahead full out on the Goofy Movie soundtrack. And actually, I think it was... there was another Prince associate that was on there. Side note, Graffiti Bridge the movie. Let's briefly talk about that. So many moments. It is a terrible fucking movie.
It's so bad. It's
so bad.
Especially, like,
I love
Purple Rain.
By the way.
Purple Rain is not a good movie, but it is enjoyable.
Especially the concert sequences. He brings it.
Purple Rain, to me, is like... It is the act of killing of Prince's psyche. Are you guys familiar with the act of killing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here's like... So, like, they give these... Not to equate Prince with these warlords, but they give these sociopathic narcissists an outlet to create their own vision of their own history. And what you get is like a total like narcissist like version story or telling of their own story. So like some of the elements that make it up, I feel like are just so weirdly revealing in some way.
Yeah.
Like if you want to like overanalyze.
Oh God, yes.
At the moment, like, I think it's the first scene, you see Morris, and he's walking with Jerome, and then some ex of Morris's shows up.
Morris, I don't know, when did you show up last night? Why did you show up?
Throws her in a dumpster. Picks her up and throws her in a dumpster, and I was like, oh, that's the kind of movie this is. Like, talk about tone
Oh my
setting.
God, but that moment when she visits his parents' basement, which is his room for the first time, and then he plays her the tape of the woman crying
Oh my God! Oh my God! I like, I was just sitting there with my mouth open, like, just, what the fuck is happening? And then there are dolls everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, why aren't you running? Apollonia, why aren't you running as fast as you possibly can?
Also, that classic scene where he's like, before we can continue, you must purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. And she's like, okay, and then like pulls out her titties, and he's like, Prince just like raises a finger and is like, wait. And then she's like, ah.
And then he starts driving off like on the motorcycle without her. Like,
and he's like, that's not. He's like, that's not Lake Minnetonka.
I know.
Everything that he did in that movie, I was like, what a fucking asshole.
Okay, so by the way, Prince's humor is so fucking weird because
his humor isn't just weird. His humor is Prince being an asshole.
Well, let's also not forget
it's not really like humor anymore when it's just like malicious Schadenfreude.
Because he also wrote the script for let's not forget Graffiti Bridge, and there's that scene in there where Morris Day and Jerome have a money off. Where they like take out their wallets and see how much money they have on the table,
and then like, they have the same amount, but Jerome like pulls one out of his back pocket.
No, he takes off his shoe, and in the heel of his shoe he has like an extra 100 or whatever that he tosses on the table, and Jerome's like, oh man, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? This isn't comedy.
It's just like a gross display of like the worst parts of masculinity. That's what these movies are.
The scene in Under the Cherry Moon when they go to the restaurant with Kristen Scott Thomas. You think you're cultured and shit? And then he writes down on a piece of paper the word Rekasto. And then he's just like, say this word out loud. Rekasto. Say it louder. Rekasto, you're being childish.
What is it? What is Rekasto? I don't get it.
This is a new language, and it's like, if I were to go and buy a Sam Cooke album, where would you go? A Rekasto. Oh, like, stop it! What is this? This isn't comedy! This isn't humor!
It's just, it's all, and it becomes even worse in the 90s, but clearly...
Oh my god, the Christy Alley interludes on the Gold Experience. Oh no, the Love Signal album.
Like, Chris just had too many yes men. Like...
Chris?
Did I say Chris?
I think you did.
Prince. I think you said Christ.
Christopher Prince Nelson.
I literally just called him Christ.
I mean, did you see the end of Graffiti Bridge? He kind of did that to himself.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he left with an angel.
Gay panic. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, and the gay panic in Graffiti Bridge.
And even better than that, there's also the two scenes with Jill Jones. At one point, she's walking down the street in Graffiti Bridge, and Prince looks at her. Hey, Jill, what? What's this noise I hear about you joining Morris's band? She doesn't say a word. She just stares at him in the street, reaches under her dress, pulls her panties down, and walks away.
What?
And she does that, and then later on, after the gay panic scene, she shows up at Morris's place again, and it's like, when are you gonna get a real job or whatever? Like, girl, if I swear to God, and then she puts on the boombox, and then just starts rapping at him while the strobe light's going off in his apartment. It is so fucking weird. Oh my god.
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah. Prince stories.
They got you wanna talk Michael Jackson versus Prince?
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, I'm just gonna lay out my UFO theory on like where all that contention comes from.
And briefly, before we do that, I do want to give a brief shout out. This is the 4th podcast that I've ever done. Clearly the most successful, aren't it? But the first one I ever did was Scott and Evan's Random Ass Podcast with my dear friend Scott McLean. He loved Michael Jackson. I love Prince. One of our favorite episodes we did was a Michael Jackson v. Prince standoff. So before anything else, let me just give a quick shout out Scott McLean. I'm thinking of you, buddy.
So Anyway.
Did you hear they were supposed to collaborate on a song?
So yeah, they were supposed to collaborate on Bad.
Uh-huh.
And even though Prince declined, Michael still asked him to be in the video, and Prince declined once again because the Wesley Snipes character was originally supposed to be Prince, and there's a story where Prince is like, was like, the reason why I didn't do it is because, you know, the opening line is, your butt is mine, and he's like, wait, because, like, who's saying that to who? Because you're not saying that to me, and I'm certainly not saying that back to you.
Yeah.
And on top, and also, like, you know that, you've seen that, like, that video where it's, like, James Brown's performing on stage, and then, like, he invites up Michael Jackson, who's, like, performs for, like, have you guys seen this? Yeah, and he performs, he, like, does, like, a dance for, like, 15 seconds, and everyone's like, oh, fuck yeah, and then, like, he whispers in, like, Prince's ear, or James Brown's ear, and he's like, he calls out Prince. So then Prince goes in there and then tries to up-show, he uses it as an opportunity, like it was Quincy Jones revealed, as an opportunity to try and compete with Michael Jackson on a stage that wasn't his, and went over the top and fucked up his dance moves, and then was given a guitar that wasn't properly plugged, that was, like, all fucked up, and then just ends up making a fool of himself. And so after the show, he tried running over Michael and LaToya in his van.
That sounds like conjecture and insanity.
That's according to Quincy Jones. Oh, also the same thing with Bad. So when Michael wanted Prince to record on the album, so he sent Prince an early take of Bad, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to get you on it." And Prince is like, what the fuck is this? Are you saying you bad? You ain't bad. Michael Jackson isn't bad. And so he goes home and he records his own version of what he thinks Bad should sound like, and then sends it back to Michael with a letter saying this is what Bad should sound like.
That's amazing. That's a lot more believable than the story I heard of him just, like, hearing it and just being like, this song's fine by itself. You don't need me. Because that doesn't sound like the Prince never was really that humble. Exactly.
That's not the Prince.
Exactly. And let's not forget, in 2014, he signed a deal with Warner Brothers, like, I'm going to have my masters back, and part of it is going to be a double deluxe release edition of the bonus deluxe of Purple Rain. You've been wanting it for so long. That never fucking happened at all. He just wanted to get his masters back. He was one of the biggest assholes in all of history, but he also never really could. I mean, not like the biggest asshole, but, like, he was there. Although, you know, talking about sad stories, though, the only sad story I'm going to tell. Taran asked me at one point, like, does Prince have any kids? And I'm like, kind of? Because, alright, so this is after his deal with Warner Brothers ends, and he, you know, starts going on TV, like, he writes slave on his forehead, he gets out of his contract, and the first thing he's going to do, I'm going to fucking show you guys all, and records Emancipation, a 3-disc album of new material. And he goes ahead and does it, and it comes out, and at the time, Maite Garcia, whatever her name is his protege at the time. He always is a female protege, as we know. And she goes he records an album for her called Child of the Sun. A lot of people consider it the worst album that he ever did. But on Emancipation, during one of the songs, you actually hear a heartbeat, and that's actually the sound of, he hooked a microphone up and recorded the baby's heartbeat in her stomach. And the weird thing is that, like, then he, like, talks about it. He went on, like, Oprah or something, talking about his forthcoming child and all these other things like that. And then a couple weeks later, or like a couple months later, he shows up on a show and asks him about his kid. He says, yeah, no, he's doing okay. But what happened is that he was born with a severe birth defect. And so, like, he lived, like, in an oxygen tank for, like, 6 days and then passed away. And he appeared on that talk show saying his kid was okay, like, 2 days after that. And seemed kind of unfazed by it, and that's why he never brought it up again, and that's when people found out after the fact that the child died. But it's also just like, that's really, really fucking weird to be on a talk show and being like that, but at the same time, I can't even imagine what the loss of a child is like. So you show up on a talk show, and, like, you're not gonna talk about this personal tragedy right here. Yeah, no, everything's fine. Like, I can kind of...
Right, just, like, gloss over it.
Right, exactly. Like, that was a sad thing. And that's why, of course, now the Prince Vault, the Prince Estate, is under enough contention, and there's 6 sisters, and people claiming to be cousins, and blah, 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 blah.
I read that over 700 people have filed suits claiming to be a half-sibling of Prince.
Yeah.
And that they are all getting, like, DNA tested.
It's pretty clear who's going to be cut out of that. But here's the other thing I'm going to say, though, is that I think part of the reason why we all got so emotional and so nervous going into this podcast is, aside from the Beatles, but that's its own thing, this is the first artist we've covered that has passed away.
And it was so recent, too.
It was so recent, too. In fact, I don't even think I've properly mourned, which is kind of sad. But here's the funny thing, though. 2 days, he passed away on April 21st, and I believe it was 2 days later.
That's my birthday.
Hey, there's that.
Prince died on my birthday.
That really sucks. And then 2 days later, my best friend Adam had his wedding. And I showed up there and I DJ'd that wedding too, but like as I'm like when I find out the news, people are just like, there's a body at Paisley Park. I'm like, it could be anyone. No one knows anything. It could be anyone. And then I find out and I get texts all day from people just being like, are you okay? Are you okay? Because I introduced so many people to Prince. Even the guy who was getting married, he texted me like, are you okay? Can I get you anything? What do you need? Like, he was just really, really worried. But you were just briefly, I heard you while we were between episodes here, you were talking about when I got you into Prince, too.
Yeah.
Like, that journey. Walk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time really hating a lot of 80s music.
Yeah,
I think,
Taran too, yeah.
I still think a lot of it's really bad. Like, there's just like,
you can dance if you want to.
It still blows...
Fuck you, that's an amazing song.
From a musical standpoint, it still blows my mind that the 80s happened. Like, the 90s makes sense. Like, you know, like
Does
you
it
get...
though?
No, I mean, like, grunge.
The 90s makes sense.
Like,
even pop 90s makes sense.
Yeah, like, it's like, oh, you, like, you go, well, we've been missing rock, so we go grunge, and now hip-hop's out. Like, you got this new thing that emerged from the 80s, and it's now hip-hop. Whereas, like, why did we go back, why did the 80s, and did we go back to the 50s?
Because music is always...
Yeah, no, I know, but like...
Fucking Taco, when he did Putting on the Ritz, but the 80s synth pop version.
Oh, that was awful.
No, so like...
The reason... Because I feel like, while yes, there were synths in the 70s, you know, the age of computerization, there was just so much more you could do with them. The quality wasn't great yet, but the variety of what you could do with the synthesizer was suddenly so much more,
well, also
and pre-programmed drums,
and
just to have that capability.
And you didn't have to be rich to own it, which is the other big thing, is that, like, you know, like, you had to be wealthy to own a Mellotron in the 70s.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You gave me Purple Rain.
Because I can't remember anything. Was there a contest of like, dude, you got to hear this or something, or was it just like, here's another thing you have to hear? I can't remember.
It was like,
because I introduced a lot of people to Prince, so I was very upset.
You started off with that, and then you went with Sign of the Times, which I enjoy. Which again, I wasn't totally sure. I felt because of like how weird that album is at first. Like then I like the first side, I was like, you know, it's like okay, like it's like okay, but man, fucking Slow Love is like this brilliant thing, and then it kind of like all of a sudden like Ballad of Dorothy Parker was clicking, and then it was like One by One, and then like all this other stuff went on, and then I listened to the second half, and then I'm like literally my mind just got more blown. Like my mind with that second half, I feel like every song just gets better and better till the end. Like I'm just like what? Whoa!
It was totally
and
you
so
as a
then,
South Park
and so then, like, I went back to Purple Rain, and then, like, once everything made sense at the second half of Sign of the Times, like, once I get what it's all about, then all of a sudden Purple Rain is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, like, missing, like, this extreme context that's going on.
That's exactly... Evan gave me Purple Rain probably, like, 3 years ago, and I listened to it and was like, this is an album.
It's fun.
You know? And
but you were also saying that it was hard for you too because you grew up in a house that really despised the 80s.
Right, and that's come up before. And each time we've done an episode, Madonna, Janet, I've been like pleasantly surprised at how much I'm enjoying the music from that era. But it's also like with familiarity comes love, and so I think part of what really made Purple Rain and like especially Sign of the Times click for me this week was having that context of what he was doing leading up to it. And it was also, I didn't even place the Stevie Wonder reference until randomly last week I threw on Songs in the Key of Life, and there were a couple moments on there when I was like, oh my god, this is Prince. Like, to a T. That, like, fusion of
soul
funk with the jazz chords, and the really like Prince will just throw in like a really weird note sometimes, especially later in his career, and it always works.
Then Evan gave me Parade, and I was very nervous. And I was like, I'm not sure if this relationship's gonna turn out.
It's a strange relationship.
And then
really.
he gave me Dirty Mind, and it was like, okay, man, like I'm in it.
Yeah.
By the end, like, I'm not even sure, like, Dirty Mind may be my favorite. I don't even know.
Right.
In terms of, like, how obsessed I am, because, like, I can just, like, for me, like, I can flip it on at any time, and I don't have to worry about what comes up next.
Yeah.
That is true about Dirty Mind.
Yeah.
It's,
And weirdly for me, that's with the self-titled. Like, I'm really glad with our ranking right there, and I know the back half of self-titled there, but that opening run, especially like, there's so many moments on self-titled.
I don't remember which song it is on self-titled. It's either With You or Still Waiting that I just, like...
The shitty songs, yeah.
Hated.
Yeah. No, legit.
And so that's, I mean, I can't... Self-titled is not one that I can just throw on. Yeah. There's definitely, like... The opening salvo, those first four tracks, like we said, are great, but then after that it really...
Can we talk about that time that he wrote a song for Susanna Huffs where he wanted to bang her, so he wrote Manic Monday for the Bangles?
Dude, man, I'd write like 20 million songs for Susanna Huff, man. Dude.
Yenny, you were saying.
No, yeah, so... about 20 minutes ago about the Prince vs. Michael Jackson thing.
Oh my god.
No, to cap it up, I feel like the reason, like, the animosity comes down to, I feel like, again, total conjecture, that Michael Jackson represented... Prince could have it all, except for being, like Prince, he could do... It was like the idea that he couldn't have it all. You know what I mean? Like, he's this groundbreaking guy. He's the most talented person. He's one of the most talented persons of the entire century. He's the he's releasing an album every year, and they're like all hits. Like, he writes Purple Rain, and when all of a sudden it's like, even though it's like, and like on top of that, he's like controversial. He's innovative. He's like all these things. But no matter what, the people still love MJ. MJ's still the more popular one, even though he only released 2 albums in the 80s. It's like, who was, like, the families and, like, most, like, standard America is, like, about MJ, and, like, Prince is kind of weird, and even though, like, Prince has this acclaim, it's this idea that even though he's probably, like, more let's say better songwriter, more talented of a person, and pretty close to there, it's like, you can't have it all. Like, you can't be, like, that challenging and still be as popular as MJ.
Well, Prince did an amazing thing, too, because after Emancipation, and then he did the internet-only album Crystal Ball, a 4-disc set of other songs, like, he just started going off on the rails. He did his 1999 remix, he did News, his jazzy instrumental album, he did the fucking Rainbow Children in 2001, which was his fucking Jehovah's Witness album. Like, he was just getting so far off the map. And then in 2003, he's like, I want to be famous again. And then he shows up at the Grammys, and he's performing with Beyonce, like, doing, like, Crazy in Love, and then Let's Go Crazy mashup kind of thing. And then he releases Musicology.
And then he jams with Mr. Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz, when he started out, he, like, dressed in purple and tried to be Prince. And he also produces all his own albums and plays all the instruments himself, because he just idolizes Prince that much. But, like, in 2003, 2004, Prince was like, I want to be famous again. And then he just was. And then he put out 3121 and had a #1 album again. It's just like, he just decided.
Which people argue that, like, 3121 is, like, one of the top, like, post-90s releases. No, really?
And it's fine. And Black Sweat, I still dig to this day. Which is, like, after Housequake and everything, like, the Neptunes kind of took over his sound. He's like, let me show you how it's done. Like, that kind of thing. I love that song.
Again, I'm not sure if it was... if I'm mixing it up.
Or whatever.
There's one, I'm not sure if it's Musicology or if it's, like, Rainbow...
Musicology.
What's that?
I don't love Musicology. Like, it's fine.
No, I'm trying to remember. There's one that I feel like was the response to D'Angelo. Also, you want to break down everybody else? Let's just try to between Prince, D'Angelo, Lenny Kravitz.
Well, he gets really angry. Oh my god! One of my favorite stories. There's that one song, Prince Fams United. Because remember, at one point, Prince. He once hired this thing called, like, the Web Sheriff or whatever. Like, anytime someone posts a picture of him or a video of him or whatever, they send a takedown notice, they send a copyright notice, whatever they need to do.
It was impossible to find anything Prince.
Exactly. So Prince.org is, like, someone hand drew his symbol and they, like, put, like, MS Paint shit over it. Like, it's, like, the best they could do because, like, Prince doesn't want to have Prince images out there that aren't authorized. And so then at one point, Prince fans are getting, like, upset and about this. There's a suit or whatever, and Prince gets really upset. So he recorded this response to Prince Fams, which was this other, like, subset or whatever. I don't fucking know these subgroups. And this one blazing song, and I shared it with you, where he's just, like, he got really upset and put up this blazing, angry rock number.
Just does this, like, Hendrick-ass protest song called, like, C&D. He released 3 of them. They're essentially they're calling out these fans. It's like these 3 diss tracks and these aggressive rock forms.
And the fans were like, holy shit, where's this Prince been?
Yeah,
and it's just like amazing rock songs that he puts out. Oh my god.
To be fair, that Prince.org, I think it's really fun. I think it's like either on Unencyclopedia or Encyclopedia Dramatica. It's like Prince.org, where Prince fans go to talk shit about Prince and Prince-related affiliates. It's a great resource. Like, it's really... in my head that... Again, this is a terrible comparison. Don't judge me, but it works. That place is like that ocean on Naboo in The Phantom Menace, where it's just like all these fish are fucking trying to eat each other, and there's like one people trying to survive, and they're like fucking like it's these angry ass Prince fans who are like just trying to eat each other and talk shit about everything. And it's just always like another bigger Prince fan is like trying to take down another Prince fan.
When you listen to the Chartographers, are you expecting Prince?
I love that you went to Naboo.
Are you expecting Prince to fucking be there? Oh my god, okay, another Prince story. 2 more Prince stories that I have. First off, it's not even a story. There's a B-side he has called Ha 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 He 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 about a dog and a cat fucking. And the sample...
Fun fact, it's not a good song.
It's not a good song, but the dog sample, I'm like, boom, boom, arf! 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 And there's a beat to it. It's amazing.
There's another song on it, I want to say the Love album, that has a dog sample. And that always makes me think of, there's a Timbuk 3 song called Sampling the Dog.
Oh my
And it's
God.
like, arr, 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 arr.
And it's not about Timbuk.
Clearly an influence on Baha Men.
Oh my god, there's that Daniel Kibblesmith video when he just takes the scene from Garden State when Natalie Portman puts the headphones on him and he just replaces the shins with the jingle dogs. Arf, arf, arf!
Yeah.
Arf, arf. The song will really change your life.
Yeah.
The other one, though, there's another B-side called Shockadelica. You've probably seen it.
Oh yeah, Shockadelica. You want to know why he put out that song?
Tell the story. It's so fucking bitter.
Well, so I forget, who was it?
It was one of his bandmates at the time.
One
I
of
want to
his-
say MPG. I could be wrong.
I think it was a former member of the time.
Yeah.
Was putting out an album called Shockadelica.
Or
And
it was, I think it was like Screamadelica. It was like
No, it
off by
was.
like, oh, okay.
It was called Shockadelica, and Prince heard the album and did the same thing. He was like, "This isn't what Shockadelica should sound like." So he recorded a song called Shockadelica and was like, "This is what this should sound like." And like Rush released it as the B-side for some single, so it would come out before this guy's
bandmates.
album, and it would sound like he was copying Prince.
And it worked.
And it totally worked.
Absolutely worked, because he's a fucking asshole, is what he is. It's amazing. Side note, real quick, best Prince cover. Because it's hard to cover Prince.
He
But
also hates
so-
it when you do it.
He really does. Except for the Foo Fighters, when they covered Darling Nikki, and then he decided to go ahead and cover them during the Super Bowl when he did Best of You, randomly. I'm like, what the
I
fuck
feel like
kind of payback is that?
You say it's difficult to cover Prince, except that, like, I can think of... it's probably not literally a dozen, but, like, so many people have had hits
Oh my
with
God.
Prince album tracks.
Yeah,
like-
Shaka Khan, of course. We mentioned that in the main cast.
Well, and
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor, that wasn't even a Prince song, but he wrote it... Who did he write it for? I want to say it was for, like, Morris Day or something.
I got another good Prince story.
Right.
So like it was around when
No, it's from The Family.
Oh, yeah!
So when D'Angelo was kind of breaking out with Voodoo, and
Yeah.
so like Questlove and D'Angelo initially bonded over loving Prince. Like they were doing a Root show, and like basically like it was supposed to be this big critics event, and like all these like labels and A&R people were playing, but like he was told that D'Angelo was in the crowd, and so he like almost like Quest like risked like tanking like this like critic set or like this like economic set to try and like make a connection with D, and randomly stops it to do this Prince cover in there, and like people are wondering what it is because it's not a Root song, and then D'Angelo just stands up in the back on the balcony, he's like fuck yeah, and that's like kind of their thing, that's their starting point. So then years later, Voodoo successful, and they're invited to play with Prince, and I think D'Angelo had mentioned in some interview about how he's like, man, I wish fucking Prince would like fucking drop this like like love symbol guitar shit, all this, whatever these crazy modern synthesizers, bust out the old Hunter Telecaster and just fucking like is like buck is down to like this basic funk level or whatever he just worded as. And so Prince like got wind of that, and so he invited them to play the show at Paisley Park, and he's like, yeah, we're just gonna do a jam, man, you guys can hop on there. And then he just continued to do only songs that were brand new or he didn't know to fuck them up so they looked like shit when they were playing in comparison to him. Because he was basically like in like this very light way of saying they're like Prince. He's like, you ain't like me, and just like makes them look like shit in public.
That sounds about Prince.
That's very princely.
Oh my god. I mean, there's so many fucking Prince stories. There was, of course, the time that he presented the Grammy for Song of the Year and gave it to Gautier, for somebody that I used to know.
Still best presenting ever.
Walks on stage.
No, he goes like, I love this song.
And then Gautier flips the fuck out when he goes on stage. Like, oh my god, Prince just handed me a Grammy. Like, he just blows his guy.
And then Prince is just like...
There was, oh my god, one of my favorite stories, though, and it's actually, you can find it on YouTube, because once Janelle Monáe started coming up, he was like, oh yeah, this girl gets it. And of course, he wound up showing up on her album, which he doesn't do a lot. He did it for No Doubt once, and he did it on, later on. But, man, son, he goes ahead, and he once sent her a singing telegram. And as this guy shows up at her dressing room with flowers in this tuxedo, and he starts singing the lyrics to Kiss, except they were rewritten by Prince to be about Janelle Monáe. You don't have to be beautiful, like, and something about, Janelle Monáe. And it's just like this weird kind of thing, and she's just like, what? What is this? And then there's this handwritten note of lyrics from Prince, like, kind of revamping it like this own thing. Like, he just liked her a lot. There's the occasional artist that he just latched onto and just went with it.
I'm kind of adorable.
Yeah. I was surprised that he was into Gold Digger by Kanye West. Somebody asked him what he was like, what he liked. He's like, I remember he really loves Kendrick Lamar. Loved that To Pimp a Butterfly album.
Everyone did, but David Bowie was listening to that before he died.
And so they, and then he said, and then like randomly, like they were asking him what he listens to, and he brought up Kendrick, and then out of the blue, he's like, I really love what Kanye did with Ray Charles and Gold Digger.
Well, let's also not forget when he appeared on American Bandstand, and just to be funny and fucking with people, like, he just refused to answer any questions, so Dick Clark is there.
He answered them non-verbally.
Yeah, like, just like, so, how many years have you been playing music? Holds up his hands. Like, that's it. Like, that's all he does for the entire interview. And Dick Clark is, like, saying, he later said that was the hardest interview he ever had to do, because they're not giving him any goddamn answers, which was amazing.
There's also that one time that he invited Questlove and Eddie Murphy to go roller skating on Valentine's Day at 2 a.m. And so he would, then they got there and they're wondering what was going on, and of course Prince shows up with the case with these special purple light up, like specifically designed with. And like was like, yeah, and then none of us are with those girls that we went with there anymore.
And then there's the Kevin Smith story on An Evening with Kevin Smith, when I guess he approached Prince because he wanted to use a song in the movie Mallrats, and Prince is like, no, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you Jungle Love by More Stand the Time.
Kevin Smith wanted either the beautiful ones or the most beautiful girl in the world.
Something like, yeah.
I think the beautiful girl in the world, because that would have probably been popular at the time. And then he shoots that documentary where he's hardly ever there, and it's just about like Prince talking about God and stuff.
Well, he talks about, like, we know it'd be great if in a movie you just went ahead and whatever reason the scene is happening, and then you just flash the words across the screen, Jesus rules. Wouldn't that be daring? Wouldn't that be bold? And Kevin Smith's like, well, yeah, that would be bold. You're right. Yes, that is correct. Why do you have to do all your swearing in your movies? Kind of a thing I do. It's just I'm not changing it. Just kind of swear. And that was the time he was at Paisley Park too, and he found out that that's when all the music videos are in the vault and all these concert films that no one has ever seen.
So it's on record. So Prince. Whatever they're valuing, I think they can only undervalue what's in the vault, because Prince.
They're trying to sell it for $35 million at the time of this tape.
Since 1999, once he finally was making lots of money, he recorded on video and audio every show that he ever did every night, and so he would do the show, and then he would go shower, he would eat, and they had a special TV a portable TV that on the bus that he would watch the entire show he just did, and then he would go out and find an after show to perform,
and he could walk in any club and do any after show,
and then he would re-listen to the tape from the session. I think there's an amazing quote from Eric Leeds. Who's the other? No, but who's the one you interviewed?
No, his manager, Alan something.
Alan Leeds?
Yes.
Yes,
actually,
okay.
Yes, no, you're right.
Yeah, fucking no, it's his brother. It's
Yeah.
I was blanking on it anyway. You need to edit this.
This whole thing's getting edited.
So Alan Leeds. There's this amazing Alan Leeds quote where if you knew how much effort it took to be Prince, you'd want to be a banker. And then it was,
I believe that.
And so I mean, like, there's like the guy is like, he's like almost perfect. I feel like one reason why he's kind of like sometimes underplayed or like not as high up there when people talk about the greatest guitar players is that he's almost like, he's usually like so perfect in form that it's almost like I very rarely would ever expect Prince to fuck up. You know what I mean? Which kind of removes like a certain element of like danger, whereas like if you're listening to Jimmy Page and it's just like trying to fucking machine gun out notes before you land on the Zeppelin note. And so you're just like landing on that. Like, but like Jimmy Page is like a really sloppy guy. Some people, well, like people will claim to be like, oh, he's the be all end all. But like, whereas like, but like, you know, it sounds like he could totally fall apart at any moment. With Prince, I'm like, it's like the most well-trained.
So effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about, here's the thing, by the way, so I know, we talk about all the Prince side projects he did, Vanity of Sex and Apollonia 6 and Morris Day and the Time and The Family and Pandemonium and all these other fucking things
Maserati.
that he did. He did Carmen Electra.
Sheila E.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, but like, you go into
David
all
Staples.
these things, and the thing I want to talk about, worst Prince song ever, I don't even know if he wrote it explicitly, but it appears on a Morris Day and the Time album called Pandemonium. There's the song he did, and it's especially topical when we record this podcast in 2016, but Donald Trump Black Version is a song that, and literally the lyrics, Donald Trump Black Version, is a lyric that happens, and it is...
Yeah, and it's... I just... It came on, and I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, there is no benefit.
And then I heard the words Donald Trump, and I was just like, no.
Donald Trump
I'm
Black
skipping
Version.
I'm skipping this right now.
Donald Trump Black Virgin.
You know, here's the thing. He tries to grab him by the pussy. Prince just owns that pussy so hard.
Prince grabbed life by the pussy. He grabbed...
The other thing too is that like when he died, it was so surreal. Like and to many degrees, like it just doesn't feel like he's gone. Like, I know he is, but it doesn't...
Also, just our relationship with him, because he's such a mythical being. Like, you want to talk a guy that most of the information you know is secondhand or presented 100%. In a certain way. Yeah. That it's like that's why it's up with Bowie, why it doesn't feel like he's actually dead, because it's almost like more of a myth. It's like a legend. It's this guy, like, because of how much we actually know of that person is only, like, the artistic ends of things and a certain part of expression, and, like, not knowing, like, especially considering that almost even the people that work with Prince say that they hardly know him, that even the fans only know him as this mythical being.
Yeah. And listen, although he said he hated it, I'm still going to go back on my answer. I still think one of the best covers he ever did, was ever done, was Alicia Keys doing How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore. Because that song, you want to talk about the greatest Prince songs of all time, that B-side, that solo piano with him, like, just hitting the floor for the drum beat, How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, is a fucking jazzy masterpiece.
I want to say that I'm surprised that he got away. I'm surprised how much he got away with basically making Manic Monday basically be 1999 Part 2. It's like they're pretty, especially like the before. Other than the choruses, like the verses are like almost like the same exact melody for how they go. Like remember when I wrote this? Excuse me if I go too fast, and then it's like
just another
Manic Monday.
Good job. All right. Well, this happy hour minisode is 46
We knew it was going to
minutes
be
long.
bonus. It's our season finale. I'm honestly, for our season finale, I'm so glad we did Prince. Like,
Me
that
too.
just feels fitting, incredible. And I'm really glad Jon Harvey was here, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jon
it's
Harvey.
good. It's always good to be here.
I know, exactly.
Always-
And trust me, we got other episodes planned for season 2. You're definitely in part of the plans. We've talked about this beforehand. We don't want to let our stupid fans know what it is.
Yeah.
But we got some bands lined up. That's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just wondering when I'll be back for that other guy that I bring up every single podcast I've ever been on.
I know, you're going to be part of that band that we keep talking about. That you
Another
interviewed
band.
one of the guys.
Oh, by the way,
for,
just so we're on record, I'm not sure if you know, Evan, your interview with Alan Leeds and everybody else is one of the most widely cited things I've ever seen.
Really?
Like when I was like going on like the Prince.org, like you like that. There's so much information in those 5 pages that like I'll be looking up a question and I'll Google something and I'll occasionally just throw in Prince.org because like you'll like have a bunch of like nut jobs like gives you enough information. Like there's a lot of like even if it's just rumors, there's like a lot of stuff that's like part of the whole stuff, and that thing is linked so many times. I'm pretty sure it's on like a Wikipedia page too somewhere.
Oh, he's on Wikipedia.
It's weird when I like look up the citations or like even not even the citations. It just says critical reception and it says Evan Saudi.
Right, like a quote from his review, and it'll be like Evan Saudi from Pop Matters didn't agree.
It's the weirdest fucking thing, and because trust me, I do not have a Wikipedia account. I don't. People just
you're not
update
adding that shit.
Right, exactly. Which is the weirdest thing, but like. That's incredible, and being connected to it's a very small thing, but it means a lot. That's crazy though. He was very, very nice. He insisted I do a phone interview. It was Dr. Fink that I did the email interview, which totally still worked. It was totally good, but they were totally willing to do it. They were totally willing to. But the thing that pissed me off is that I did that 25th anniversary of Purple Rain feature. I did everything in it. I did a radio appearance on WNYC. I did like all this other shit like to make it happen. Other writers contributed and other things like that. But then the week or so after it comes out, fucking Spin Magazine comes out with their 25th anniversary thing. And apparently though, they actually reached out to Prince himself and they were like, "We want you to talk about Purple Rain," because Prince isn't really big on the past. He's always looking towards the future. He's like Quentin Tarantino, whose favorite film is his last film that he made. Like I'm sure Prince's favorite album is the last album that he made.
Always.
And so and apparently they went to him. They apparently had like a big offer to him, which I think is like they literally had $1 million in a briefcase that were like, "Prince, can you do an interview with us where we talk about?"
I imagine it's just $1 million. The value for that alone, like that's like a lifetime. That's like something people be clicking on for years,
and
like your interview on Pop.
No, exactly. Well, we'll see about that. But in the meantime, though, Prince, I know you're in the afterlife, but I will say thank you for everything. It's been an honor knowing you. It's been an honor ranking all this stuff. I'm gonna get really emotional if I keep talking about this. But
I mean,
music
like
has changed lives.
I'm gonna talk about like all these people, like at least if I've been on like I've been a guest on for this podcast for. It's like he's a guy. I feel like not even though I've listened to such an incredible amount of music, but even then it's such a small amount where you have an artist that I feel like you take. That somebody's music actually then affects your own personality and your individuality, and that there's a guy that it's like weird, like after getting into Prince, like how less insecure about certain aspects or certain like maybe more feminine aspects. I'm like, I don't care, like if Prince can be that and still be the sexiest motherfucker on the planet and the coolest motherfucker on the planet, like it's all about making you being the coolest motherfucker on the planet. And like there's not many actual artists or anything where I'm like, I want to adopt whatever this is into my own personality and my own life, which is I imagine is the case for anybody that ever grew up listening to his music.
Yeah. And listen, I'm a guy, I don't believe in any afterlife or anything else like that, but if there is anything out there, anything that's beyond this world, before you call up that doctor in Beverly Hills, all I can say is that if there is something there, Prince, I hope you take me with you. That's all I can say. Oh my god. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This is the longest minisode we've ever done, but god damn it, is it worth it. It's Prince, god damn it. Of course we're going to talk about it. Thank you, Jon Harvey, for being here.
I was glad to be here.
Taran, as always.
As always.
It's
wonderful.
God, it's incredible. Season 1 of the Chartographers. That's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for listening. Really, like us on the Facebook, rate us on the iTunes, and keep us in mind. We're going to see you on the next Manic Monday. Listen to our Season 1 wrap-up in the meantime. We'll see you in Season 2. Have a great one, guys. Goodbye!
No, but he's the one you interviewed. Sorry, Evan just left the room. He's trying to be subtle about it.
Why didn't we pause the podcast?
Okay, well, Evan can edit this part out. He's an editor.